South Mob. Be sure to check out the latest offering from author Karagosa Somerville, The Burden of Sweetberry. Taking place in small town Alabama, Sweetberry Armstrong is a vain woman who pits good against evil in her adulterous relationship with Deacon Hosea Hess. For nearly 20 years, Sweetberry has been the deacon's mistress, but out of respect for him, the community has turned a blind eye. The relationship takes an unexpected twist when a wealthy player, Luther McGill, comes to town, and Sweetberry is intrigued and abruptly abandons the deacon for him. After several confrontations and unable to bow out gracefully, Deacon Hess takes matters into his own hands and murders Luther McGill on the church grounds. This story, full of mystery and deceit, highlights features of the African-American culture common for the time, including a style of speaking, humor, worship, and songs of praise. Be sure to look for this Amazon bestseller everywhere books are sold. The Burden of Sweetberry.
Internet, you are now listening to the Freelunch Podcast. This is your man, Premium Pete. Yeah, I'm calling from Brooklyn, and I'm letting you know that you're tuned right in. Don't go nowhere. The place to be is right here. Listen to the Freelunch Podcast. Cheers.
Yeah. Set the world on fire, take the block by storm, but I blow so cold. Nigga, warm your hands in the hell where the fire burn blue when the wheels turn slow in the steel. Pierce your skin, but it ain't so soft. I was raised in the Ville, I'm prepared for a war, and my shield so thorough that I don't need a hammer, and the heat don't scare me, man. This Alabama in the summer like a hammer to a runner, you gon' feel me. Go ahead, call me Green Tea Billy. Free Willy in your mind at the same damn time. You don't even wanna reach for the ceiling high. Listen, man, I'm the truth, won't lie. That's why I tell you put your hand to the sky. We can live for the moment, screaming out omens like the roof on fire. Finna set the world on fire. Finna set the world on fire. Finna set the world on fire.
Welcome to Freelunch Podcast, a member of the New South Movement Podcast Network. I am your boy Tight. We got the main man with us, BG. How you feeling?
Yeah, man. Just maintaining, bro. Maintaining. Yes,
and I'm not even finna go in the details about what we was talking about earlier, but we just gotta, man, this dude right here, this guy that they elected, man, this dude is a straight idiot, man.
Yeah, they keeping us full up off of the stupid stuff. That's for sure.
It really is.
Man, wait, I'm gonna jump in here real quick and just say, like President Obama said, hey man, boom, boo, vote. So all these people out here who got a problem with it, ask yourself, did you really get involved in it to make a difference? Like my mother always said, if you're not in it, you don't have a voice to say.
Absolutely.
So either you stayed out of it and you didn't, or you were in it. But the question is, did you bring your friends to that voting booth with you to ensure that people are voting too? So everybody out there who all upset about what he's doing, because he ain't doing nothing he didn't say he was going to do. He's doing everything he said he was going to do. So if you didn't participate in the process to ensure that he was not there, then you got a lot of explaining to do and a lot of more work to do. So don't sit at home and look at the TV and complain and call and write your Facebook posts. Take your butt out there to the streets and do the work that's necessary to ensure that your congressman and your state representative and your state senator understand your position, understand how they need to vote, and understand that seat that they're currently in will not be there if they don't vote the way that's necessary to make sure and ensure that everything goes the way you need it to go.
And that's the way you open up a show. I feel good now.
all this social activism via social media. You just heard the one and only Jason Wiley. Most of y'all may have seen him on Making the Band. What was it? Season 3, perhaps?
Season 2.
Yes.
Season 2.
Season 2. It was Season 2, the band, and then Season 3 of the second season. I know it's hard to.
Yeah. So y'all just heard him. Y'all just heard his voice and his words. And welcome to the show, Jason. Way to just jump in and provide your insight and your thoughts on really those that didn't participate in the election cycle and that want to sit back and complain, because I think what you just said was right on, to be honest with you.
A lot of people, didn't vote compared to the previous 2 elections, and I know a lot of people myself who said, well, what does it matter oh, it's two evils going. I don't like either of the candidates. Oh, it's not gonna make a difference. Well, you're seeing the difference. It does make a difference. Like it can easily and quickly, make a difference. So all those people who were at the airport stuck felt what the difference is just within 8 days of a presidency. So imagine what 4 years is going to be.
Do you think he's going to last the 4 years?
I mean, it's up to the people, right? Like, it's all depending on how active and how much people really participate in what it means to govern. It doesn't mean write a Facebook post and complain about what's going on and tell people, check out my post and see how many likes you get. It's about, have you called your congressman? Have you called Paul Ryan to participate in the Affordable Care Act opinion poll that he's doing? Have you called your state senator to ensure that they're going to vote in ways that make an impact in your life? Have you called your representative? Have you called your local government? Because, all of these acts that he's participating in with these executive orders, they have an impact on the state government as well. And your local government have a say in those matters too. So each state participates in the Affordable Care Act differently, and each state participates in these executive orders differently. It's a federal government, it's a state government, and it's your local city government, and all have an impact in what's going to happen in these next 4 years. So, it's on us. It's on people to make a voice not only heard but actionable. So what is that action? I went to Christ Universal Temple, don't want to preach, but right thoughts followed by right actions. That's how I was taught. So, what's those thoughts, and now what's your actions behind it? Don't just tell me you wrote your post and you sitting at home and you complaining. Are you participating in making a difference?
We'll get more into your story as far as your journey, but I want to kind of jump straight to what you do today. Vice President of Content and Integrated Marketing for the Philadelphia 76ers. So you're in the NBA world. When you see guys like LeBron James standing up and really taking a stand saying, hey, he doesn't want to stay at Trump International Towers when they travel to New York, or Coach Popovich or Steve Kerr make the comments that they've made about the president, what as an organization do the 76ers allow you all when it comes to those type of stances?
Well, I mean, okay, so it's a free country, right? As a country and as a person, an individual, you have the right to say and do and have any opinion you want to. Now, if those opinions and rights and stays impact your business, then that is a conversation that can be had, right? So it is difficult to say to someone like, hey, you can go out and say everything you want to, and you can wear your 76ers gear and go ahead and do that. It's free speech. It is free speech, but also there's a business that we run. So we have to juggle between right actions and being responsible, but also understanding that the NBA and the place that we play basketball, it should be a safe zone. It should be a place where people can relax and feel energized and collective and come together for a moment, for a second, right? You need a moment and a second to have the ability to let go of all the pressures that everyday society places on you. So we have that in the 76ers, in our arena. We don't want us to become a place that's divisive, that pits people against each other, that says you're right, you're wrong, right? Because it's a slippery slope too, right? Mm-hmm. If I am pro-choice and I'm I don't want, anything to happen here, and then someone else comes in and they're they believe that abortions are wrong and they want to talk about that. And then the next person comes in and they believe that, like, you know, freedom of religion, and the next person believes that something else is wrong, and this person believes something different, right? Everybody has all these different beliefs. So on the business side, like, we're not there to tout which belief is right or wrong. Now, we do believe in all rights for all people, and that, you know, you have to respect each other, and it's a place of respect and a place that is open to all. So we're not going to sit there and allow people to be discriminatory. But at the same time, we're not a place to tell you, like, how you should, beyond being open and equal to all people, beyond that, to tell you what's the right or wrong. We're basketball. We're entertainment. We're an entertainment sector of your life. We should be a place where all people feel equal and feel like they have the opportunity to enjoy and to let go for at least a minute, for a second, to say, man, I got a lot of pressure. I got a lot of built up anxiety, but I know when I go to that game, I'm going to have fun for a second. I'm going to be able to relax. I'm going to be able to sit back and enjoy the game. And then I can deal with the pressures that I deal with on a daily basis.
But the question that I had, would Twitter follow under your branch of the organization, content and integrated marketing?
Yes.
So would you police the basketball player, the superstar, Joel Embiid, his Twitter feed, or does the organization allow him to communicate and perhaps take a individual stance on, or say tweeting something that's negative about the president?
No, we don't take a stand against any of our players. We don't take a stand against our individual employees. On your account, that's not a Sixers brand account. We don't police. You know, we're not a police state. We're not, you know, we can't tell people how to think, how to feel, how to live. All we do ask is, if you're a representative of the organization and you're a representative of the business of the team, that you have respect.
And just to be clear for our listeners, you are the Vice President of Content and Integrated Marketing. Can you expand upon a little bit of what that means as far as your day-to-day procedures and what you do?
I am a part of the organization, and I deal with the integrated marketing, which is on the court. So all of the things that happen in the game beyond the actual basketball game. So when you see the dancers, the drummers, the T-shirt toss, all of those things going on, the dunkers, that is a part of my department. The video board, all the things that happens there, as well as the content that we create and the digital social avenues that we have. So the official channels within the organization. Just
to give some perspective, you've been with the 76ers for a little less than a year now, perhaps 10 to 11 months?
Yeah, exactly.
There was a very interesting story, and I'll ask this question, and you may not be able to answer it given policy or what have you, but Seven Streeter was asked to participate in, I believe it may have been opening night. She wore a T-shirt, and then at that point, she was asked not to perform, but then I think later she was invited back to perform. Is there anything that you can or cannot share on that particular matter, or?
Seven sung at the Lakers game, and it was a great night. Participated in our Boys and Girls Club activities. Presented a check with the team. It's a great relationship. There was opening night happened, and then we all figured out the best way to move forward, and we did, and everything is moving forward from there.
So we jumped right into it, and I still don't feel as though we gave you your just due as far as an introduction. I mentioned earlier, and BG, you can probably adhere to this. When you graduate from the Wharton School of Business, you're an intellect, and obviously, for those that listen to the show, they can really get a sense of your intellect and just hear it in your voice. So you started off, you've worked with the 76ers, but even before then, you actually had an opportunity to intern with one of the really, when it comes to marketing in our generation, the best person in the business to learn marketing from, and Mr. Sean Combs, Puffy. I guess just give us a little bit of background about who you are and kind of how you got interested in entertainment and marketing.
Originally from Chicago. I go back 6 times a year. Still the greatest city on that I was born in. So went to Penn, and after I left Penn, the day I graduated, I was offered the opportunity to intern at Bad Boy. People thought I was crazy because I was turning down jobs and deciding to intern. And the thing that I felt at an early age was that the most important thing to me was to be happy, and that money will come when you're happy because you will enjoy what you do. And when you enjoy what you do, you work harder at it. So you will get rewarded if you choose a path of happiness. And so that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to be in entertainment, and I decided that the internship would be my best opportunity in order to fulfill that. But at the same time, right, I always set myself up. I went to Penn, I went to Wharton, so I had something to fall back on. So if my dreams didn't follow through, then I would always have that ability to find a job, right? I wouldn't be stuck. But at the same time, my parents thought I was crazy. They couldn't believe, like, after all this time, they worked extremely hard to get me to get to Penn. They were both social workers, so they I was not at Penn on some, silver spoon. And so it was a struggle to get through Penn, and they thought I was insane, but it was my dream. It was my dream to work in entertainment. It was my dream to work in music. It was my dream to work for Puff. And I had that opportunity right in front of me, and I'm not going to just let that go. So it was a struggle. I was an intern. I was making $40 a week.
Really?
I was making $40 a week.
Yeah.
And again, I was first time in New York. I didn't have family there. I wasn't living with my aunt and didn't have to worry. It was a struggle. I was eating hot dogs and pretzels every day in order to fulfill my dream. And I was at the office from 9:30 to 10 o'clock at night as an intern. So my other interns during that time were like, "Oh, Jason works here. Oh, he must be an employee," because I just didn't stop. And why would he be doing all of that if he's only making $40 an hour? He's got to be an employee. And no, I was just an intern, but I had to get a job, right? Everyone who I wanted to be had a job. So I walked around that office talking to the people who had jobs, right? You got a job. I want to be like you. So how do I do that? I wasn't just sitting in the corner talking to the interns and being like, man, this party that Puff is throwing and we get to go. This is great. I was like, man, what do you have to do to make this party happen? What is your role in doing this? How are you doing this? What is that? Because I wanted what they had. They had a job. So, it was about making sure the people who had jobs and could make me a full-time employee recognized me, that they understood my value, and that I created a sense of being needed at the company. And not that I just wanted to be there, but that the company needed me. So I worked my butt off and finally got hired full-time in August, which was at the time the quickest intern to full-time position in the history of Bad Boy. And it was funny. There were a couple of people there who had been there for years as interns, 2 years. And I just didn't understand it. I was like, man, if this don't happen in 3 months, then it ain't meant to happen. It's only so long I can live in New York and on $40 a week. I had borrowed from my credit card. I was doing all types just to live there. My parents were not supporting this dream. They were supporting get a job. You went to a great school, get a job. And so, but again, being happy was my goal. And in that pursuit, the pursuit of happiness, I was able to make a lot of money, to do a lot, to experience a lot, to see a lot. But every day I woke up, I was having fun. Like, my job was to go to concerts, to go to clubs, to go to parties, to meet artists, to be with artists, to be backstage, to do all the things that people are constantly like, man, one day I wish I could do. And, sometimes I think I took it for granted because I was just doing it and it was just a part of my everyday. But, it was a sacrifice. I had to figure it out. When I first got to New York, I subletted this room with from a couple of people who went to Penn who were there. They had full-time jobs. They were all working. I was subletting this little room of theirs. I was sleeping on the floor because I didn't have any furniture. I had nothing. I just had clothes in New York, and I was sleeping on this air mattress that had a hole in it. So every night when I went to bed, it was full of air, and I was sleeping good. And then by the time I woke up in the morning, it was on the floor. So I literally, I was blowing it up every night, every single night. I would blow it up, then I would lay on it. It felt good. I blow it up, lay on. I had duct tape on the hole, so it would seep out slowly. And then by the time I woke up, it was on the floor. But I just ran into that roommate the other day, and we were just talking about it because I never saw them, because I was there for one purpose, and that was to get a job in the entertainment industry and do something that I love. And so, I was working my butt off, and, no one realized I was just an intern, because they thought that, oh, he must be an employee to be getting this much responsibility, to be talking to that exec. There's no way he's an intern talking to that exec, so he must work here. I mean, when I started out on making the band, I was still an intern. And it was during the course of that I became a full-time hire, because I just made myself really reliable, dedicated, and showed my work.
Being that you were at Bad Boy, what was that first meeting with Diddy like?
First meeting was crazy. I mean, I always wanted to work there. So when he was just at the office all the time. He was always talking to people. He was always around. So that first time I was like, whoa, this is real. And that was almost as soon as I got to the company, really within a couple of weeks, I was in a meeting with him, right, as an intern, because he really believed, and he still believes, you have to understand the voice of all levels within your company in order to make the right decision, right? The president of the company doesn't necessarily have the same perspective as the intern. So as I'm putting out new music, new products, right, what does that intern believe and what does that president believe, right? Because I'm trying to sell to a variety of people, so I need to understand it. So he would bring interns into meetings all the time. So you're sitting there, you're fresh out of college, you're fresh in college, you're young, and then Puff is in front of you what do you think? And you're like, what? What do I think? What do you say? What? Because that first time when he calls on you for your answer, you just don't believe it. You're like, there's no way, he's going to even notice me or know what I'm thinking or I care, but he does. So that was crazy. But the first time I got a call that I didn't want from him, now that was interesting, to say the least. I had messed up on the road with the band. I was the road manager. We missed the show.
So this was going to be, I got a question about that, because that was going to be my first question about Babs.
That was one time you missed.
Yeah, so the Babs thing came after, right? So leaving Babs at the club, but there was something that happened worse than that before Babs, where we were on a promo tour.
Are you intern or employee?
I'm an employee now. No, I'm employee now. I'm employee now. So I got responsibilities now, right? I'm getting paid, right? So we were on promo tour, and the group they were like, yeah, we don't want to go to that city right now. We want to go to this club. So I was like, all right. Okay, we'll go to the club and take the first flight out, so it'll be fine, right? And so we go to the club, we take the first, and then I rebooked the tickets. I got the first flight smoking, so they're at the club all night. So they're at the club all night. So then, we were in some city. I can't remember right now, but club closed at 2. We leave, we go, but we got to get up. We're on the first flight out, so we got to get up at 4. So really, you only had time to come back to the hotel,
get a bag,
wash up, get ready, get your bags, and go. Well, Babs decides to go to sleep. She's like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. So we bang. Everybody's down in the car. We were like, where Babs at? Like, so I didn't leave her this time, right? I should have left her this time. So I'm like, man, where Babs? So we go upstairs, banging on, calling her, banging on her door, calling her, banging on. We go and get the hotel to give us a key. The hotel gives us a key. We go to unlock the door. She got the chain on the door. So now we like, and she still ain't up. She still ain't woke, right? So we banging, like, come on, get up. Like, we got to go this flight. And we get to that airport. Finally, we missed that flight. And they like, next flight ain't for 3 hours. And we had to go to New Orleans. So not only now we got a 3-hour delay, and then we got a 2-hour flight. So we way behind. We had a radio station visit. The radio station been promoting it. They pissed. They call Puff. They're like, we're pulling all your records. Like, you had an artist supposed to come here, and you don't have the artist show up, and you got the artist in another city, and we heard they were out at the club, and like they supposed to be here in the morning, and like, how you gonna do it? We don't care, right? Man, that call.
What'd he say?
That was a call. That's a call you never forget. You never forget that call. That's one of those like, wow. And I'm just hired. Like, I'm really, like, I'm fresh on the payroll. Like, I'm not even been on payroll, 401k tight, looking like savings all on point. Like, I am in the hole. Like, I told you, I'm living off of $48 an hour. I borrow from credit cards. Like, I'm in a serious hole for this dream, and I'm fresh on the payroll. And he's, like, just told me he's not sure. I'll just say in summary, he said he's not sure if I could still be on payroll. Like, that's basically, like, that's where it was. In a summary of words was, I'm not sure you should be on payroll. That was the summary.
But how long was the conversation?
So words are important and key. You use a word called conversation. Conversation is two people speaking back and forth. Like, you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk.
Right.
It wasn't a conversation. So it was a phone call. So there was one recipient and one talker, and that was about like 10, 15 minutes. Not much talking though. It was more like yelling, and it just, I just summed it up. So, because it was long. So because we are on the podcast, it's quick. I don't want your listeners listening for hours. It was like, you might not be ready for payroll. Just sum it up like that.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, just so you know, podcasts last forever, so you don't have to summarize anything. You can tell us the full story in detail, because this is what the people want to hear. But we could do a whole show just on your experience with those group of people, because I was talking to BG even on the pre-show. I was like, man, those people, we felt like that was family almost with when he announced Sarah Stokes, Chopper, Freddie P. Dillon, Elliot Ness, Babs. Yeah. When they announced them names, we felt like we was part of Bad Boy, and they was our kinfolk.
First, I must say this, right? My wife now was a director on that show, and so I met her on that show. So, I will forever be indebted to that group, because they started my career. Like, not only did they start my career, I met my wife because of them, right? So right. I could never feel any harm to them or any ill will to them.
And why would
because
you?
I wouldn't be without it. But
right.
After I started saying that, you know, I am glad to say that through the power of social media and Instagram recently, most of them have apologized to me because they put me through the ringer.
You ain't lying.
Like, I don't even know if a ringer is a word this is not even a word that exists for what they put me through. You know,
go ahead and say hell. They put you through hell. They put you through hell.
I didn't sleep. Like I used to. So we filmed. That was really Puff's house, right? That was like where we filmed during that season. That was his house. He lived on the top 4 floors. We lived on the bottom 4 floors, right? And so
what?
So and filming there, right? Like I didn't sleep. They would literally like somebody was up at some point and they needed something from me. It never failed. Like you would be like, aren't you? Oh, everybody about to go to sleep except for somebody who needs something because they don't understand something, they want something, they need something. And the person who they started to depend on for something was me. So like 6 people would be like, oh man, I need this. Oh man, I don't understand this. Oh man, show me this. Oh man, I gotta do this. Oh man, I gotta do this. Hey, Jason, get me this. We need to do this. I don't understand this. What do we need to do? This, that. That's all I would do all day long. And then on the road when we started touring, I was the sound man. I was the accountant. I was everything going on, right? So like it was just I was security. I was a part of everything. So we only had 2 security on the team, so it's 6 of them. So I'm playing security, travel agent, psychiatrist, like everything you can name I'm doing at that time. And mind you, now remember, I'm 22. It ain't like I'm like, oh man, you know, I've been doing this a while. I understand. At that time, I was just out of college. I was 22. So I'm running around like this, like you would have swore, and people are like, man, you've been doing this for. I'm like, no, I've been doing this for 2 days, and these people are about to have me go crazy in 2 days. 2 days.
It's funny how this is all come back full circle because Jason, I was praying for you and I didn't even know you. I'm like, that dude got a job on his hands, man.
That dude got a job on it. So let me ask you that. So you say none of it was scripted, right?
None of it scripted. So this is when reality TV was real, right?
Real.
This is
right.
They literally MTV followed us for 24/7. They had a camera crew on us 24/7 the entire time. So it was 4 crews that worked during the course of the day. So one crew was on for a certain period of time, next crew comes on, next crew comes on, next crew comes on. But these 4 crews cycled throughout the entire day, and they just filmed and filmed and filmed. So somewhere in MTV vaults, there is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of just footage from that group. Now on reality TV, they got call times. They tell you when to come. They write out a story that they want to get done throughout the day. They have a whole thing. That was like when reality first started, and they just followed you around and captured whatever happened.
So you can talk about this because you were 22 and you were a single man. But were you part of the plotting back when y'all left Babs? Were you trying to go into the room with Chopper and with Freddie P?
Girls in the
That's funny. That's funny.
Were you part of the plot? Were you taking it?
Not at all. So here's the thing.
You can say it now. You wasn't married at that point. You could tell the truth.
Let me tell you something. Here's the thing that I always felt. If you willing to go home with them, you willing to go home with anybody. So I'm not. I don't want no part of you. If you so quick to run home with these knuckleheads, then that means you running home with almost any and everything possible, and you ain't gonna catch me up in nothing. So
well, you can't say that. They were celebrities at the time, so you can't say that now, Jason.
Man, celebrity nothing. Did you see them? Like, come on, man. No, man.
It was no. I agree. It was a bunch of L's on that one. No way.
No,
I know it was a bunch of L's, but I know it was a bunch of L's. I agree.
Sorry. And at the same time, you got to remember, like, Like I'm kind of responsible for everything, and I've already at this point what you see on camera, I've already got that one call, right? That I might not be cut out for this. So that was always on the back of my mind. Like if I mess up something else, like then I'm done. Like so I'm trying to figure everything out. I got an eye on the front, the back, the side, the left, the right at all times to ensure nothing. I can't have no girl claiming that something happened that she didn't want happen. I can't have no girl coming up stealing something from somebody. I can't have none of that. So I'm all like checking things out the whole time. Like I just had to be on my P's and Q's, or else, I just felt like at any point it could be taken away from me. And that was just what it was for me.
Was Sarah Stokes a fit in the band? Personality-wise?
Was she a fit in the band? I mean,
there was
watch the show? No, she wasn't a fit in the band. That girl used to fight, so she used to always tell me, she used to always be like, I ain't a rapper, Jason. I ain't a rapper. Like, they rappers and shit. Like, I ain't no rapper. And I'm like, I know that, Sarah. Like, what? I know that, Sarah. Like, but that was always like when she reached her breaking point, she always tell me, I ain't a rapper. Like, okay, I know that. I know you sing. Like I never, but she smoked. She had to worry about her vocal cords. She took longer to get ready. She needed to have like certain moods in order to get going as a singer. Like all these things was taking place for her, but and they rappers. They were all rappers, and so they all like flow differently. So Sarah used to always complain about her fit in that group. Like I ain't like this rest of them, but at the end of the day though, it's funny talking to everybody. We all loved it. Like I don't think they would change the moment. I think they would change what happened after the moment, but none of them would change the moment. We had a lot of fun. It was great. We kind of all lived together. It was amazing.
And you were watching this up close and personal. Did you feel like it was going to be a short-lived thing, or did you sense that this could possibly be something for the long haul?
In the moment, you always think something's going to be for the long haul, or else why would you do it, right? No one is ever like, yeah, man, I'm going to do this and it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You're always like, if you doing it, you hoping I ain't never met somebody who's like, man, I'm so invested in this, it's gonna fall apart soon.
But Freddie P wanted to retire before it even happened.
I'm like, man, did you go and rewatch the show? Like you remember a lot of the show, man.
I did. I had to go back and watch some of the episodes as part of my planning.
That DVD or that special DVD. Yeah,
this is YouTube. It's all on YouTube. You can see yourself on YouTube if you go check it out. Jason.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're on YouTube, but let's fast forward a little bit though. After that, you became director of marketing for Bad Boy for a period, and as well as with Jive Records. Can you kind of talk about what you took away from those two experiences? Because I think just from an audience perspective, it'll kind of just help to understand how that shaped you to where you are now.
Director of marketing, is when you start to move up in the company and you're like learning and trying to figure out stuff. And the thing that I realized at Bad Boy is I had just got married. And when I got married, it was like, when I got married, Bad Boy is a lifestyle. It's not a job. It's a 24/7. Puff is 24/7. He works. He doesn't. He's always working. So you as an employee always got to work. Like you don't have a choice because you are constantly, like, if the CEO is at work, what are you doing? Like he makes all the money. So if he can work, why can't you? Right? So,
what is he like as a leader at that point in 2003, 2007?
He is not only constantly pushing you for greatness, he is demanding it.
Mm-hmm.
And he demands of you what he demands of himself, though. It's not like he's a sit back CEO and makes orders. He would call meetings, right? And he would be like, yeah, so what are you thinking about this project? Let's just say Boys in the Hood. And he's like, what do you think about Boys in the Hood? And you're like, I thought of these two things that I think would be great. And he's like, two things? Two things? That's what you thought of? You really, like, I asked you what you're thinking of, and you came in here and you thought of two things? You're like, yeah, they're like big two things. Like, here are the two big things. And he's like, well, so I was thinking, and he rattles off a list. And he'll be like, this. And then this is who I called to see if we could do this and this. Right, this is a CEO, right? And like, he is thinking about Sean John. He's thinking about the 25 artists he signed. He's thinking about his brand. He's thinking about all these things, right? And he's like rattling off this, and this, right? And so, like, you just sit back and you're like, shit, okay, like, I'm not doing what I need to be doing, right? Because the CEO just hit you with 100 things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told him 2 as my plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not asking of you what he's not asking of himself. He's asking for you to constantly be thinking of the next, not the now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the now is happening. You should have already done that, planned it, and figured out the execution of that. It's the next that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of CEOs in the music business, they do catch flack, though, for being dictators, and a lot of artists will complain about the top of the label not working with them and not pushing them and not putting them in positions to succeed. Is it really the CEOs in those cases, or is it more so of the artists not being receptive to what the CEO and what the organization is trying to get out of them?
It sometimes is a little both, right? I mean, you have a vision as an artist and you want everyone to believe in that vision, right? No matter who you are as a person, you have a vision and you want everyone to believe in that. And sometimes the people in charge don't believe in your vision. And so, you get upset and it doesn't work. Everybody's kind of fighting against each other instead of fighting for the common, because no one wants to bend. No one wants to make concessions. So it fails. And what's important is when someone says, okay, like, let's take a piece of that, let's take a piece of this, and let's make it the best possible. But an artist, also, it's a lot of work being an artist, which people don't realize. Like, if you go to a black church, there are a million amazing singers. You ever been to a black church? There's a million amazing singers. A million. Like, everybody is singing up on that stage in the pulpit, and it's amazing. You're blown away. You can't believe it. But not many people are artists, because being an artist is not only about talent, it's about work. Mary J. Blige said the one of the most profound things when I was making the band. We went to meet with her. When I was the road manager, we went to meet with her about, like, just advice. And she was like, the thing about being an artist is your job starts the moment you walk out your house. That's when your job starts. Like, until you go back into your house, you are at work. So when fans come up to you and they want autographs, it's your job to give it to them. When you go, you got to go to a radio station, you got to do a TV interview, you got to do X, Y, and Z, you got to do a performance, you got to do, like, that is your job. And that is your responsibility to do it the best way possible each and every time. And some artists want to take off. They like, I'm leaving the house, I don't feel like being bothered. well, then you don't want to be an artist. You want to be a singer. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. But, like, being an artist means that being a working artist means that you're always working. Like, being a singer or a painter like, that just means you paint. Like, you just sing. You know, everybody can do that. But not many people have the fortitude to be an artist, to do the work necessary to make it their job and to get income on a daily basis.
Who is someone, because you've been in the business for a while, who is someone that you think exemplifies those very same things during your tenure, either at Bad Boy or with Jive Records?
I mean, there's a few people, man. There's some of the best that I worked with. I mean, they never made it big, but like this group B5, those boys, they worked harder than anybody. They were up at 5 a.m. and they didn't go to bed. They were dancing, choreography, singing. Like, they just worked their butts off, man. And I really wish, like, things had been different and they were bigger. But I mean, like, you know, like, it's the people who you continuously see they do well. You don't do well by luck. Like that doesn't happen. You do well by working hard and putting in the necessary preparation for when opportunity is available to you. And so, you know, you just go through the list of people who you continuously see. Jay, Puff, Beyonce, like, you know, those superstars are superstars for a reason. They continuously are impactful for a reason. And it's not because, they sing better than everybody. They rap better than everybody else. I mean, they are extremely talented at what they do, but at the same time, they just put in that work in order to be better every single day. They strive to be better than yesterday. And that's how you win. When you wake up and say, I'm going to be better than I was yesterday.
Is there anything that you're most proud of during your tenure?
Honestly, what makes me most proud, I would have to say is my, you know, still to this day, my family. Like, that, I mean, that's just, they're everything for me. Like, you know, I mean, and so that makes me most proud. Like, on the work side, what makes me most proud are the fact that I've worked with brands and artists and people that you never heard of that have become amazing. And those are, I mean, there's a variety of people who like, when I started with them, you didn't hear them. And now, like, their careers are just amazing. And so you look at, like, Miguel at Jive, who I remember when we signed him and trying to get his career going. You look at Jock on Bad Boy. When he started, you know, I remember when we signed him, he was sleeping on the couch of his friend's house.
To Jock?
Yeah. And now, you know, he's at platinum albums and he's still going. And then you look at MGK when we signed him, and he was going couch to couch, and now he's on TV, he's in movies, he's got #1 records. He's like all the things you hope for people when they are artists and they sign. That's what I'm most proud of. Like, when the fulfillment of that hope is accomplished, you know, it's amazing to be a part of. It's amazing to see growth. It's amazing to see an artist who comes and gets signed, who is trying to make it, and then seeing when that switch turns and they've made it. Like, you just got to be proud of that
process.
A lot has changed in the last 10 to 15 years as far as media and marketing. And how do you stay current and up to date with some of the techniques and the moves that are going on?
one, you got to always be looking at what people are doing. Consumption behavior, man, how people are doing things, you got to make sure you're there. Like, I really don't believe in, like, disruption. Like, oh, I'm going to make you come to me. Like, I just don't believe, I believe in authentic placement of the product into people's lives, right? So if you want people to pay attention to you, go to where they are. Be where they go. Make sure they see you whenever they're doing their daily lives or they hear you in their daily lives. Because what happens is, once a person starts to continuously feel that you're present in their daily lives, they start to feel like you are a part of their daily lives. So they want to purchase you. They want to buy that. They want to get that product. They want to do all these things because you have seamlessly integrated into their behavior patterns. And so I believe, like, you know, you got to keep updating yourself because you got to see what people are doing. You got to always, like, read the new ad week and what people are doing in tech magazines, tech books. You got to talk to people of all ages. Like, I want to know what the 60-year-old does in order to find new music as compared to the 12-year-old, right? I look at my nephews who are 10 and I see what they do all day. I talk to teenagers at high school. I talk to people in college. I talk to, like, you always got to talk to the market and see what people are talking about. And that goes back to what Puff taught me. Like, in his room, when he's having conversations, there's the president of the company and there's the intern of the company. And he's talking to all in between about what they're doing to get their new music, what they do to when they go party, what they do, because you alone can't know everything. So you got to ask other people to be able to know as much as possible. And you got to read and stay abreast on what is going on in the marketplace.
Were you able to make the Bad Boy tour this year, the 25 reunion tour in Philadelphia? And
man, I went to a couple of stops. So I went to New York. I went to Philly. I went to Jersey. I went to Chicago.
It was a bad tour, BG. Oh man, that wasn't even a concert. That was a party.
That was a party. That was a party. I mean, we had a good time up in there. It was amazing to see, right? Like, 'cause from the first song to the last song, it was a hit. It wasn't like, oh man, that record was kind of cool. It was like you never sat down. That concert started, you was on your feet the whole time, just partying. Like, oh man, and every song took you higher and higher and higher and higher. Even the slow cuts, even when Carl Thomas, they came out and they singing, and you out there, but you were singing like you would have swore it was like, I guess like a Young Thug record. Like, it wasn't no Young Thug record. It was Carl Thomas singing, but you out there like you out there like, oh man, this is what? Play the dance floor. I'm about to get out there. Like, man, you know this is a slow song, right? You know this is a slow song, right? Like, oh man, it don't matter. This Carl Thomas singing right now. He's from Chicago.
That's crazy. The transition. How about them 76ers?
Okay, man. Now we're talking. This is the basketball right now. Like NBA, it should be called Philly A. Because this is the place to be. Like,
the process.
You come to our game. You come to our arena. You come. You see our players. You experience the party that you saw at the Bad Boy concert, man. Like, honestly, right now in the arena, it's so much fun and it's so great to be around. The team is exciting. The way they playing is exciting. How they communicate with each other and how they on that court, and they're really like trying to win every single game. And then the arena is rocking. Like, we have fun at our games. So, like, when you are when you're watching the 76ers, you're going to have so much fun. It's one of the most exciting places I've been. And mind you, I've been to hundreds, thousands of concerts that are exciting, that are fun. Like, but being at the Philadelphia 76ers game is like one of the top experiences right now.
But you can tell, and you can tell just from watching it on TV, and let me tell you what the difference is. The difference, and this was going to be my question, because I wanted to know from a marketing perspective how you leverage this, but I believe it was last Friday night, I'm watching the Rockets Sixers, and Kevin Hart is sitting courtside with Meek Mills. When you start having
to happen, that took a lot of work to happen.
Is that something that you kind of facilitated as the integrated marketing?
People always talk about brand influencers and tastemakers, and how do you leverage. And, like, that's a part of the NBA game. It's like brand influencers, right? And you're sitting here talking about Kevin Hart at the game. So we make those invites, and we try to get people to come out, and we want them to be a part of the brand. But what I'm doing differently is, like, I'm not saying, come to my game. Like, come to my game. I'm saying we as the 76ers believe in our Philadelphians, and we look for opportunities to uplift them. As much as we want them to come to our games, we want to help them continue to promote whatever they're working on. So we try to help our Philadelphians promote the things that they're going. So that's what I mean. Like, it's a party in our stadium, because we're doing events where we're talking at every game. We're talking about people in our community who are doing amazing things. We're talking about celebrities who are doing amazing things. The other night we had M. Night Shyamalan night, right, where we were talking about his foundation. We were honoring him for being, a Philadelphian who has done amazing things in not only the community, but in the arts, and he's a great celebrity. And, like, this is what we do at the 76ers. So it's all authentic. It's all a part of, like, being a part of this new energized city and all the building that's going on and all of the things that are happening in the city. We want to support those things. We want to be in the community. We want to make an impact. We want to be a part of change, and to ensure that, people are doing better than they were doing yesterday. And so it's not just about, like, inviting them there. It's how do we help you in the things that you're doing? So, getting Kevin to the game, it was about all those things. And that's what we continuously are trying to do. And so, like, we got Little Dicky a part of the team doing stuff. We got Kevin doing stuff. We got Boyz II Men doing stuff. We got quite a few people who we have invited to be a part of the 76ers brand and community. And it's been great, man. And people are receptive to it, and they want to be a part of it. And it helps that the team is starting to do well. But in the beginning of the season, when people agreed to this, the team wasn't doing well. So it's not like it was just based off of the team. It's based off of the fact that we are trying to make sure that we work with these people.
How's the relationship with AI? Do you guys still partner with him?
Oh yeah, AI comes to a lot of games. AI is he's a Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's an ambassador. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. One of the greatest guards in the history of the game. So like he is always going to be a part of Philadelphia, always part of the 76ers.
BG, let's let Jason go, because I know we kept him probably longer than he anticipated.
For sure. Philly is on fire. It's a good time. And I was telling somebody the other day, I like what the front office did with that collection of young players. So I'm expecting some big things coming out of Philadelphia.
And I hate that they snagged our boy Joel Embiid. He should have been an all-star.
Oh, man.
He should have been an all-star. They snagged him.
Tell the world.
Absolutely, he should have been an all-star. So, piggybacking off BG, really like what you guys are doing at the 76ers. And, when you're playing on prime time, then you obviously doing something right. So, continued success, my brother.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate Jason for joining the show. BG, what you think about that one?
I had prayers going out for Jason before I even knew him because he had his hands full with the band. They was dope though. I ain't gonna lie. Every week we was still on the yard then, so that was a part of the weekly routine, seeing what the band was gonna do. So then to come back here like 10 years later or so and be able to talk to Jason, and he's a VP with the 76ers, we might be on to something, man.
I think so. I mean, I know I had to get off the bad boy because I was all into making the band, man. That was my show. I must admit.
Yeah, because really, I mean, like I say, that's a part of the culture, especially for us. Like that's deep in our DNA, from an experience standpoint of what we came up on. So yeah, we could go on and on with them different moments that they created.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you pull back.
I had to.
Keep the interview flow. Pull back for the culture.
But selfishly, I didn't want to. Selfishly, I wanted each one of them to understand what was going on. But I mean, but realistically, it's also an opportunity for us to kind of reminisce. Because if you remember those days, BG, they were family, man. I can remember me, you, C. Campbell. Us just, you remember the three of us, all us just talking about it. Yeah.
CB. Yeah.
Shout out to Scar. Where we at?
The 805D boys.
Shout out to the 805D boys because we.
Dylan.
I wanted to ask him if he ever walk and get a cheesecake. I wanted to ask him.
The good old days.
Man, let's get out of here. How can the people reach us, man?
Man, we are the Freelunch Podcast, a member of the New South Movement Podcast Network. Check for us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Just search New South Movement. You'll find us here. Retroscope Podcast, D1 Sports Talk, Communal Expressions, Fearless Mystic. We got all that locked down. We also can hit us up on the internet, www.newsouthnet.com, newsoutnet.com. Read our bios, stories, show summaries. All that good stuff, give you a feel what we got going on. Tell a friend.
And who are you?
Man, I'm BG the 27 Kid. You can find me on Instagram, BG_DA27KID. Look for me.
And I'm your boy Tight at Tight_. This has been the Freelunch Podcast, and we are out of here. See you.
Finish the world on fire. 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 Finish